Hi, my name is Kylie Christensen, and I will be doing this, Who's the Fairest of Them All, on the talkaholic scale. So just a little bit of background on the scale. Before you take the measure, it talks about how talkaholics are people that are driven to talk. They are highly verbal people and have a great difficulty and often little desire to be quiet in the presence of other people. While these individuals are high talkers or talkaholics, they usually are not the people who others refer to as someone who talks too much. The term talks too much is usually applied to people who are saying things another person doesn't want them to say, or they are ineffective communicators. And that really helps define a talkaholic before you take the scale, because in my head, when I was taking it, I was considering it as someone who just talks all the time and is somewhat of an annoyance of people, because the measure or the source that I used in addition to this measure, titled Correlates of Compulsive Communication, Quantitative and Qualitative Characteristics, kind of exemplified what I was considering, because when you think of the suffix aholic, you tend to have negative connotations. So someone like an alcoholic or workaholic is generally considered to be a bad thing. So when considering the suffix, you would think a talkaholic would automatically be a negative characteristic. But then the source goes into talking about how a talkaholic are individuals who are aware of their tendencies to over-communicate in consistent and compulsive manner, but they can't help it because of that compulsive factor. So the scale ranges from 10 to 50. Most people are 35 or 30 and below, which means that they are not talkaholics. 30 to 39 is borderline, and 40 and above is someone who is considered a talkaholic. I am a 42. I completely understood that. I was guessing I would be in the higher end. I am kind of a compulsive talker, so I understood and kind of guessed that that would be my outcome. And the measure basically considers the compulsive factor, which I thought was very interesting, because I think it's all about perception when considering if you think someone else is a talkaholic. And our book talks a lot about perception in section 3, and I think self-concept is the most important thing of going into this scale, understanding if you think you're going to be a talkaholic or not, because your self-concept is how you communicate based on how you define yourself. So that really has a big impact on how you view yourself and how you would think others would view you. And perception in general is the active process of creating meanings by selecting, organizing, and interpreting people, objects, events, and situations, and other phenomena. So perception is our way that we create meanings, and the more shared meanings that we have with someone, the easier it is to communicate, and the less chance we have of being an ineffective communicator. So in my opinion, I took this as an ineffective communicator is someone who doesn't have a lot of shared meanings and therefore is an ineffective communicator to someone else. So I think it all depends on how you view your self-concept and how well of how many shared meanings you have with someone else would classify you as someone who is a talkaholic or someone who talks too much. So that is my take on talkaholics. Thank you.